Hola, bienvenidos. I am Professor Chris Davison, and I'm here to help you learn Spanish. This is one in a series of short videos that explain different concepts of Spanish grammar. The entire series of videos can be found on my website, vamostutoring.com, along with other useful information on class schedules and apps and other resources to help you on your journey to learn Spanish. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I can help you with class schedules, tutoring sessions, or all sorts of other useful information. Enjoy the video.
Muy bien. Let's look at the pronunciation rules. So a lot of people are intimidated by written accents in Spanish, and you really don't have to worry about them. There's a nice simple rule. So there are two parts to the rule. And the first part is if a word ends in a vowel, N, or S, then the stress is on the second to last syllable. Okay, so part one of the rule, if the word ends in a vowel N or S, stress is on the second to last syllable. All right. And you'll find that most words in Spanish end in a vowel N or S. And that's going to be very natural for English speakers to have the stress there. Okay. Part two is if the word ends in a consonant. So that's not N, not S, but a consonant other than N or S. Then our stress is on the last syllable. Okay. So let's look at a couple basic words and see how they work. Okay, we have a word casa. And basically, when you're dividing syllables, each vowel is going to get a syllable. So this word casa is two syllables, casa. There's another little thing you need to know about the rule that we'll talk about in a second as far as dividing syllables. But for now, casa, two syllables. So we're going to look and say it ends in a vowel. So stress is going to be on the second to last. So that's here, and the word is pronounced casa, right? Casa. If we stressed it on the last syllable, it would be casa, and it's not casa, so casa. So great. It's a nice word, follows our rule. Let's look at another one. How about piscina? That means swimming pool in Spanish, piscina. Three vowels, three syllables, piscina, and ends in an A, ends in a vowel. So the natural stress is on the second to last syllable, piscina. And if we try the others, it's not piscina on the first I, and it's not piscina on the final A. So it's piscina. Again, it follows our rule. So great. Let's look at a couple other ones. We have the word, let's do papel. Okay. So if we look at this one, it ends in L, a consonant, not N or S. So according to the rule, it should end, stress should be on the last syllable. Papel. Right? Papel. It's not papel, it's papel. So again, it follows the rule, and ends, the stress is on the last syllable. So really we're looking at last or second to last when we're talking about stress. We do one more. Let's take an infinitive, typical infinitive. Hablar, right? All infinitives end with R. The consonant, so according to the rule, ends in a consonant, not N or S. Stress on the last syllable. Hablar, right? 2 syllables. Hablar. We've got hablar. Sounds great. It's not hablar, so we like it. It follows the rule. We leave it alone. Okay. So the time that we need to write written accents is if the word is an exception to this rule up here. Our rules with parts 1 and 2. If a word is an exception or doesn't follow that rule, then we need a written accent to tell how to stress the word, where the stress goes. And these rules were first written down back in 1492 with Antonio Nebrija, published the first Spanish grammar, and he decided he needed to make some rules for how things are pronounced, and decided that if things weren't following the rules, then we need to write accents to let people know how to pronounce the words. So let's look at a few other words. Common one here. This word means soccer in Spanish, and 2 syllables. Football ends with a consonant. So according to the rule, it should be football. But if I tell you that this word is football, now you know, oh, this needs a written accent, because the written accent is telling us, don't stress it according to the rule. This word is an exception. Stress it on the second to last, not the last. Football. We look at a couple other words. Here's a word that means tree, 2 syllables. Arbol, according to the rule. Arbol, but this word is arbol. So we need to write an accent on it. It's an exception to the rule. Let's do another one. Word for pencil. We have lapis. Okay, ends in a consonant. It's according to the rule, lapis, but this word is pronounced lapis. So we need to write an accent on it. All right. Now, the rule that we didn't talk about as far as how we divide syllables. Okay, like I said, typically one vowel gets a syllable. But there's one more thing we have to know, that in Spanish, we have strong vowels and weak vowels. Our strong vowels are A, E, O, and our weak vowels are I and U. So if we have 2 strong vowels together, they split and each become their own syllable. So we take a typical verb. An infinitive leer means to read. Leer, right? It's 2 syllables. Ends in a consonant, so it's leer. The stress is here. Say we conjugate this in the nosotros form. We have leemos. Let's spell that correctly. Leemos. Okay, and these verb conjugations you'll learn in the later videos. This is we read, so we have 3 syllables. Leemos. Okay, according to the rule, ends in a vowel N or S. Stress is on the second to last syllable. Great. Leemos. It's good the way it is. We don't need to write any accents. But that's if you have 2 strong vowels together, they each get their own syllable. Now, if we have a strong and a weak together, that is called a diphthong or a diptongo. So strong and a weak forms one syllable. Okay. And so if you have strong and a week or strong and 2 weeks, it's still going to be one syllable. Or even 2 weeks, it's going to be one syllable. Okay. So basically, when you have two strongs together, two syllables, any other combination of a strong and a weak is going to be one syllable, a diphthong. So if we look at a word with a diphthong, let's take the word lección, meaning lesson. Okay, so how many syllables? We have lección, right? The I and the O form one syllable. So just two syllables here, lección. Now I'm telling you this is pronounced lección. So let's apply the rule. Ends in a vowel N or S. The stress should be on the second to last syllable. But this is an exception. The word is pronounced lección. Lección. So we're going to move it to the last syllable, and we've got this weak and strong together. So it's not a trick. If you have a weak and a strong, the strong is naturally going to take the stress. So this word is lección, accent on the O, and we have the diphthong, the IO. One interesting thing about these ION words, so any word that in Spanish that ends ION, it's pretty much going to have a written accent on the O, because that's how it's going to work when we apply the rule. If we make this word plural, now we've got lecciones, 3 syllables. And again, we have the diphthong, the I and the O, so that's one syllable. So lecciones, and we still want the stress on that O. Okay, lecciones. Well, do we need a written accent? Let's see. It ends in an S, vowel N or S, so the natural stress is on the second to last syllable. Well, that's where it is already, right? That second to last syllable has that diphthong, the IO, and the strong O is going to take the stress. So it's fine. We don't need to write an accent. Lecciones, it's spelled correctly. So when it's plural and we've added that syllable, the written accent isn't necessary, so it goes away. All right. So this is the basic rule of written accents and word stress in Spanish. So these will come up a lot in our tutorials, in our little videos, and I'll bring up words and we'll talk about, oh, does this need an accent? And we'll apply this rule. And that's how you'll know if it needs the written accent or not. It's not a big mystery. It's much easier than we think, but since English speakers, we don't have written accents in English, we tend to be intimidated. But don't worry, it's not so bad. Okay.
Muy bien. I hope you enjoyed the video. And remember, if you have any questions, just reach out to me at vamostutoring.com. Ciao.